Right. So, as far as our machine learning is concerned, especially uh, in context to the Amazon SageMaker, mm, from a BA perspective, especially from an analyst point of view, right? So, because if you want to accelerate uh, machine learning life cycle using Amazon SageMaker, because Amazon SageMaker is one of the prominent tool to accelerate machine learning life cycles uh, under artificial intelligence, mainly for cloud related applications, because AWS is majorly provides cloud services. In regard to that, Amazon SageMaker will provide that acceleration of machine learning cycle, even by understanding the requirements as a business analyst. Even we try to develop some models, etc. Everything using this. In regard to that, today I'm going to discuss about what this Amazon SageMaker is all about. So before that, why machine learning life cycle especially matters for any business analyst. Because why machine learning life cycle is important for BA. At the same time, what role Amazon SageMaker is playing to accelerate in machine learning projects. Because our focus is more towards the SageMaker point of view, so that this is something that we must be knowing. Now, when you try to understand about the role of a business analyst in machine learning projects, now and then many business processes projects are transforming or imparting some artificial intelligence and ML process so that they can streamline and automate the business activities or the processes, decisions, etc. So by implementing some patterns and all everything, so that the system can take a decision accordingly. That's how, so that you can limit the manpower, not to the full extent, but to an extent possible, we can limit the manpower, wherein we can automate systems, automate system processes, uh, so that work can go faster. It can reach the required results that we want to see, and that too, it's a 24 by 7 service. Because being a human intervention, as in when we involve, we may work for 8 hours, 10 hours or so, right? So we may not be work, we cannot work for 24 by 7. Wherever the 24 by 7 activity that is needed and involved, there this machine learning AML implementation is becoming important, so that accuracy, speed, at the same time 24 by 7 uh, without any lag or something, everything can be done. So that's how imparting AML is becoming important for projects. Now we try to understand about the role of a business analyst here. As in, then, as a fundamental role of a BA, we normally gather and document the requirements, business requirement. That's what something that we do. And whatever the requirements that we have identified, that can be translated into the machine learning objectives that we are about to achieve. Because end of the day, return of investment from the kind customer point of view is more important. So understanding about machine learning objectives and translating them into ML objectives is more important for BA. Next, we need to collaborate with some data scientists and data engineers so that who will be involving in the AML process and all. End of the day, we must be ready to monitor the business outcome, what the desired outcome customer expects. So this is the role of a BA, especially in machine learning projects. Now, what Amazon SageMaker and what way Amazon SageMaker is being used here. That's something that we must be knowing. Amazon's SageMaker basically powered by Amazon, right? So wherein this can be integrated with the AWS ecosystem. Because when we are transforming projects from the traditional legacy systems to new cloud applications, we have to choose any cloud service provider. Either it can be AWS or it can be Azure, it can be Google Cloud, IBM, all that. So in this regard, so when we are taking this, when we are trying to understand and integrate this AWS ecosystem, that is something that we must be knowing, right? So we must integrate with AWS ecosystem, which is majorly a managed service for any machine learning life cycles and all, majorly to support any data preparations or any model building or training and deployment. Everything can be done using Amazon SageMaker. This is where the advantages we see for Amazon this way is concerned. At the same time, Amazon SageMaker is also for used for data preparation and explorations, wherein if you want to prepare any kind of quick data preparations or if you want to integrate with any kind of business data sets which are defined for us, everything can be done using SageMaker. Finally, it will be helpful a business analyst to ensure the business rules that are captured in data, because understanding the business rules and government mandates are more important. Business rules may vary from organization to organization. It will not be the same in all the cases. So understanding the business rules and ensuring, because being a BA, we try to understand the business rules and all. So here we need to ensure the business rules and which must be captured into the data is also something which is more important. Next, when it comes to the modeling and building of AML part from the training perspective or something, wherein we can automate machine learning and as well as pre-built algorithms, so that whatever the algorithms that we are giving for different patterns, decision can be taken by the system accordingly. It also supports the BA and technical teams also, because when there is any transformation is taken place, BA majorly as a BA, we focus more on the requirements perspective, understanding the business problem situation perspective. So that can be translated into the technical application. So technical teams involvement will also be there. Next, we can faster the prototyping, because some customers may ask you to develop some prototypes so that how the project looks like, etc. Based upon that, they can take decisions accordingly. So we can faster the prototyping so that we can validate the actual business hypothesis, all that. So these are the major things that we must be knowing, or we must be knowing about AWS, Amazon SageMaker and the AWS part. Next, model and deployment, right? So because model and deployment and monitoring can be possible with a single option, we can do that, right? So deployment to production can be done. At the same time, we can model whatever the accuracies that we want that we are expecting, right? So that accuracies can be identified and we can monitor subsequently. From a BA perspective, try to understand, we need to validate the model alignments, especially with what are the key performance indicators for the business that is required. So that as a BA, we have to focus, because developing a machine learning model is not something as a BA that we do. So we must ensure as a BA, whatever the life cycle model that we develop as a tech team that they are developing, we must ensure that this must reach to the actual business goals and objective, what customer expected and what return of investment customer expects. So that sort of understanding is required for a BA. So that is the reason why knowing about these are really important for any BA here. Now, as I told you, as a last point, as in when you can see that as a BA, we have different benefits, right? So we can translate requirements to ML outcomes that can be done by the system. So we have many tools we are using, right? So Python, PyTorch we have, right? So TensorFlow, at the same time SageMaker, right? So these are the different AML tools that we are using, so that we can transition requirements to machine learning outcomes that can be done as a BA. That is what generally the benefit we can see. At the same time, we can improve the collaboration with the data team, so that when we are collaborating and aligning with the same work that we are expect to develop, so that we have a final what desired result that is to be achieved from the business objective point of view can be achieved. So this is also one of the benefit for a BA. At the same time, it also enhances the visibility into ML workflow, which is more important, because if you know about the ML workflow, so that it is easy for us to understand where this can be imparted. Okay. So as a BA, that is more important. Last but not least, it supports even data-driven decision making. Everything is possible using these as benefits for BA, all that. So this is something as a BA we must be knowing when we are trying to understand about AWS Amazon SageMaker when we want to accelerate machine learning lifecycle as part of AML. This is what the whole understanding is all about.